Hi guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Cooking with Chief. I was wearing a different shirt in the picture, but it was getting a little too hot and this one's a little more baggy, so it works better. But I have all the ingredients you're going to need to make beef stroganoff. I'm trying to make accessible meals for you guys that are still delicious, but I have about 2 heaping cups of egg, is it no egg? Oh, no, it's wide egg noodles. That's what they're called, wide egg noodles. So it's about 2 heaping cups of that. I have 2 steaks. They got a little cooked in the defrosting or whatever thawing process, whatever that's called. And so they're a little bit cooked, but I mean, that's fine. I have 2 tablespoons of butter, and then I have some beef bouillon, some chives, and then I have some minced onion. Then I have some granulated onion. Then I have some basil leaf. Basil leaf is amazing, so that's really good to add pretty much to anything. I have a little bit of soy sauce because every little bit of soy sauce makes anything taste good. And then I have some cooking stock, that's beef. I have some half and half and pepper. And then where did my salt go? Here's my salt. There we go. And we have everything we need here. I did forget something on here. Flour. So don't forget flour. Definitely need that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pressure cooker to cook the meat because it'll make it more tender, make it just fall apart in your mouth. If you don't have a pressure cooker, don't worry. All it is you cook it up on the stove, chop it up into little bits about, I would say, anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch, so about that, just little chunks, and just cook it up for about, I would say, 5 minutes. It really just depends how well you want it done. But you could probably just get away with 5 to 7 minutes since it'll be chopped little cubes. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to chop this really quick. Alright, now that I have that all chopped up into little cubes, I can just go plop it straight into this pressure cooker. Again, you can just use a frying pan on the stove with a little bit of oil and then just salt and pepper it really, really well before. So I'm gonna go do that. Alright, so first we're gonna wanna start off with the stock so it can just soak it up and taste really good. If you don't have a pressure cooker and you still want to use the stock and add a lot of flavor, I would suggest marinating it the night before. Just with the same stuff I'm going to use to pressure cook it. That'll also tenderize it a lot and make it taste really good. Then we're going to use the basil leaf. Put about 3 decent pinches of that in. That's usually what I do with that, is just go by pinches. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go with a tablespoon of chives. And then a teaspoon of the chopped minced onion. So let's just put that in there. Also what I'm going to do is put some pepper in there because you can never have too much pepper, honestly, in my opinion. I put about this much in to where it just fills in the crease of my hand. That's how I know how much I want. Ooh, got some of that in my mouth. Then we're going to put in the packet of soy sauce. The reason why I put soy sauce is because it adds just that nice little touch of flavor that people can't put their finger on. They're like, oh my gosh, I love the spice. What's that little punch that it gives? That is the soy sauce. So now we have that. We're gonna save the granulated onion for when we're doing the sauce. So here is the salt. I'm gonna put about twice the amount of pepper I put in there. So just a nice little palmful. And then the half and half we're gonna use for the sauce. And then same with the butter we're gonna use for the sauce and the noodles. Last thing we're gonna need to put in this is going to be the beef bouillon. These things are amazing, holy crap. They're the most delicious things you'll ever put on beef or in beef or whatever. I just use 3 cubes just because it adds such a beautiful flavor to this wonderful beef that we have. And I just use the choice sirloin. You can either go higher quality or lower quality. If you're going to do lower quality, I would suggest pressure cooking it, but higher quality, go for it. Just use the stove. So I'm going to plop that in there, and then that is all done. So now that's closed, I'm just going to turn this on. Wash all of your dishes and utensils so that you don't have to do it after. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a big pile of dishes. This is going to be cooking for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to have to come back. So I'm just going to clean this really quick and then go play some games. Alright, so I only have 12 minutes left on that. I'm going to start prepping the rest of the food. So I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to fill it with about halfway with water. It doesn't really matter as long as the noodles are well covered and have plenty of water to work with. Alright, so there's that. I'm also going to get a little bit of olive oil. Olive oil just helps really make it so it doesn't overflow, and also so the noodles don't stick. I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes, throw the noodles in, and we'll continue making the sauce. Alright guys, so we have the pressure cooker open and it looks absolutely delicious. I'll show you guys that in a second. And then we have that boiling. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump these straight into there. Stir just a little bit and it should be good. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of salt. About that much. And then just stir. I'm going to turn that back up to high just to get that boiling again. Next thing, honestly, I don't think we're going to need the granulated onion just because this looks and smells perfect, but we'll see. We'll try it. This is what that looks like. So it looks absolutely delicious. I'm going to grab that in a second, but first I'm going to just stir it and I'm going to taste it. Honestly, I think that's perfect. It doesn't need any more seasoning, so we're not going to need the granulated garlic. But what we are going to do is while that's boiling, we're going to take half a cup of this. Just scoop that straight up. So we're going to take a half a cup of this, dump it into there. We're going to turn this onto medium until it gets nice and warm. Let's just rinse this off really quick. I'm going to go put this in the microwave. Now it's in the microwave, it should stay a little bit warm. I am going to take a little bit more basil, just a nice little pinch. Put it into there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one little bar of this. So just continue stirring. Move it down just a little bit to about just above low. See how it's starting to bubble? We want to stir that in a second to make it not. So I put about, I would say 2 tablespoons of half and half in. That just lightens it up, makes it taste really good, and really adds just a genuine flavor and fluffiness to the sauce. While I'm stirring that, I'm going to come up here, grab some flour. So I take just a pinch and stir it in. And I end up wiping it on my hands because I'm too lazy to walk over and wash my hands off. So just keep stirring that. Turn this down just a little bit so it's not as boiling as much, so just above medium should work. These noodles cook a lot faster than normal spaghetti noodles, so it won't take too long. I'm gonna let that sit for a bit. I'm gonna see if this is done. Nope, not quite. Almost there. See how it's still really watery? What you want to do is just keep adding every 30 seconds. Keep adding it and stirring it. And I'm about to move this off and let it thicken naturally. So once it cools just a little bit, it'll thicken. So I'm not sure if you can see, but it's a little bit in between. So it's not quite water, but not quite gravy. It's just, it has a little bit of bounciness to it, just enough to really make a difference. So I'm gonna move that off, turn this off, and I'm gonna go empty this. So I'm gonna get the colander. I'm gonna use the colander to empty this. You're gonna wanna rinse it in cold water. If you don't, it'll not only be starchy, but it will also continue to cook and it will just not taste good mushy, I'm telling you. I'm gonna slide this into the pot. I'm turning it off for right now, just because I want it to burn off all of that moisture. I can just continue cooking all that off, because you don't really want much of that. I'm also going to take some butter, the remaining part of it, and I'm just going to plop it straight in there. Alright, that's all set. Now what I'm going to do is just pour that in. All nice. Boom. See how it has that perfect, just glistening look to it? That's how you want it to look. Now I'm going to try this before I put the beef in. Oh my goodness. Well, I may say so myself. I am the best freaking cook ever. That I'm proud of. That is, ooh, that's so good. Alright, I'm gonna put this back. I've been kind of doing a poor job of putting stuff away. I put this in the sink. Grab the nice pieces of beef. This can feed around 1 to 2 people. Me, it feeds 2. Most people, it feeds 1. I just have a small stomach. But look at that, guys. I'm gonna show that to you. Look at that. Ooh, there we go. That is just delicious. Now, if you're pressure cooking, it's going to take, alright, there we go. That looks absolutely delicious. If you are pressure cooking, it takes a little longer just because of the prep. You have to pressure cook it. It takes 30 minutes to pressure cook, but besides that, it only takes about 15 minutes to make. So it's a 15-minute duration if you're not counting the 30 minutes for the pressure cooker. It's about the same if you don't use the pressure cooker. You just cook it up. What you can do is while you're cooking the noodles, you can cook the beef also. And then once you cook the beef, you can just slide it straight into the microwave so it stays warm, and then rinse out that pan really quick. Or actually don't rinse out the pan, because keep the flavor in there. Take some of the marinade, just use a cup and make the sauce after. So just put it all in there, do the exact same thing, except just use the same pan for the meat for the sauce. Super easy. If you want to use more meat, you can use more meat. I can't digest that much meat, so that's the perfect amount for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed the first Cooking with Chief. I know there was a lot of just little mess ups, and I kept looking over there instead of there because I thought that was the camera, not that. But let me know what you guys want me to cook, and I'll cook it. If you guys want more simple meals, like literally I can show you how to make, like, I don't know, a quesadilla. Like I can do like 3-minute meals all the way up to an hour-and-a-half meals. Let me know what your skill level is. I might start doing like beginner, intermediate, and advanced if you guys want. But again, this was only about 15 minutes to make. It takes about 5 minutes of prep time, so a total of 20 minutes. And then you have a delicious dinner for those of you who want to impress someone, or maybe just want a really good meal. But thank you guys so much for watching, and catch you next time on Cooking with Chief.